All I'm gonna say after watching this latest Sakamoto Days episode is if you're gonna kill your MCs, you really need to do it like episode 10 just did here. They even say in the episode, yo, Shin be dead. And not for dramatic reasons, no, he died by going to a bathhouse. Because the jets were so strong, they team rocketed, blasted him off again. They cooked him like he was a rotisserie chicken in the sauna. They froze him to death in the pool. And at one point, they're just like, yeah, I think he's dead. And as far as we know, the way he came back to life was the massage chair just hit all the right spots. They go into this episode by saying, hey, they're so stiff. Because, to be fair, the previous arc did them dirty. They're a little stiff. Hell, our girl's having a hard time picking up the pork buns. They deserve a little relaxation. And because in Sakamoto Days fashion, a hitman's trying to kill them, only Sakamoto had fun when it came. But here's the thing. I get the loyalty Shin has, but I think he really needs to, hang out with the girls more because it seems like they have a lot better time. And Sakamoto just attracts danger. But hey, I guess he'll learn how to increase his grip strength because at one point, our boy's forearms were putting in work as literally what I imagine the equivalent of Hydro Pump is in this world. Hydro Pump, the attack from Pokemon. Because that was attacking our boy's back and he was holding on for dear life and that's the spot. This is the greatest MC, that's all I'm saying. Of course, want to see my full thoughts though, support my work, we got the Patron, full and live reactions available exclusively over there if you're so interested. So, one more episode to go before we take a break. I think it comes back in summer. I think I remember hearing this is supposed to be a split core thing going on. Either way, I know there is more Sakamoto Days being worked on, it's just a matter of when we get it, I suppose. This is fun. The previous arc did such a good job at really raising the stakes, having emotional storytelling. This week's episode felt more similar to maybe the first couple of episodes of this show. Very ridiculous, very slapstick humor, and just all around good fun. They had two sections of it. They obviously had the bathhouse stuff, which was fantastic, and honestly, the most similar to the intro of the show by far. And then they introduced the mafia plotline because our girl is trying to be swayed to come back home, come back to the family as, the most over-the-top, mafia level guys I'm going to win her back. Okay, you go change in the used needle dressing room, my lady. Here's the elegant dressing room for you. The whole thing is that we have a gambling plotline, which I think is so funny because Sakamoto apparently knows nothing about gambling and playing cards and the like. Shin's obviously is useless for this shit too. But we know somehow they're going to end up making the most money because they both have 30 million to start with yen, and this dude's already up to 90 million. Knowing Sakamoto, he's just going to go play roulette, put it all on black, and somehow is going to win $50 billion. That's probably what's going to happen. Or, if they're not just going to go the pure luck route, he's going to observe something and be you know what, this is the easiest game, I'm going to do some... Because half the time he's flicking things or throwing things. At one point, he saves the damn bathhouse guy by, using ping pong balls and the end of his popsicle stick. I'm sure he can flick a marble or something to get the roulette wheel to go where he needs to, but I guess we'll see what they do. But it is funny, though, because in last week's episode, we had the whole, is this man actually, or it was either the last episode or the one before it, either way, he shows that, shit pens, he's able to be an absolute deadly maniac with. He did the same thing in this episode, but I like how they can go more comedic with it. So, there's these two bums who are jumping the guy who's trying to whack us the whole episode. Firstly, he uses a ping pong ball to break the one guy's face. The other dude, he finishes his banana pop and throws it into the collar of his shirt and it flies into the vending machine. I like how at face value, when you compare the last arc to this, those ideas are the same, just executed in two different ways. One with intensity, oh my god, that dude's gonna lose an eye, he's dying. This one, I think we just made someone clinically brain dead because they're a bully. At face value, two very similar ideas, but executed with that slight twist of serious or comedy, and it just makes it all the different. I will say, though, the bathhouse stuff was my favorite. I do like that we're able to continue to learn more about the other characters, in this whole casino plot line, and we do understand more of, where people come from, but the bathhouse stuff is just my personal favorite. I am excited to see how we're gonna win, how we're gonna keep her freedom, And I assume once we do win, ultimately they're gonna pop back up, similar to our one sniper pal who likes to come around every so often. And I like that. I want the side cast to expand and just continue to go to this family's supermarket and just cause a ruckus, but in a more positive and comfy way. The bathhouse stuff though was fantastic. I just love the fact that for all of them, even including Sakamoto who went through hell and back, they just had the best time, and our boys just like, for the love of God, put me out of my misery, just old yeller me, please and thank you. The best joke was probably the jet one. It was the first one. Our boy, like, I thought he was gonna try to electrocute them. I didn't realize his combinations of buttons were gonna, super jet. Literally throws our boy away, and he's just holding on for dear life, like, yes. The sauna was pretty good too, since it was so hot to the point that at one point our boy's head was on fire. And as he's being carried off, this old man talks shit. Yeah, the youngins, they're wimps. Gramps, I understand at face value why it may look like that, but our boy's head was on fire. He's already emotionally, like, he's physically dying and you're emotionally damaging him all in one. Like, leave him alone, please and thank you. And I think it's such a small element, but it added so much to the comedy. There's these two little kids, right? The dad is always in like a different frame doing his own thing. And at every step of the way, these kids are seeing the craziest shit. Holy shit, hydro pump. Oh my god, they're burning alive. Oh my god, it's ice over here. The dad doesn't see any of it because he's just like, yeah, whatever. And every time they ask, can we do this? His response, when you're older. Which is fantastic because, he probably hears a bunch of dumbass questions every day of the week with his kids. So he's just like, oh yeah, they want to go into a sauna. Yeah, when you're older. Oh, you want to do this when you're older. Just focus, be nice. But in reality, they're seeing the craziest shit. And the dad will never believe because kids exaggerate. Yeah, you won't believe it, Dad. He flew 50 feet in the air. Yeah, I'm sure he did. But he literally did. No one's gonna believe them, but it's so funny. It's like, those are the little things. And that's literally the most minor thing that happened in the episode, but it's such a standout moment. Not because the rest of the episode sucked, but because the comedy directing was just that solid. The show is legitimately criminally underappreciated for so many elements because people get hung up on production or this, that, and the third, when there's so many things about this show that just feel like classic anime. And I have to commend the author, the voice actors, everyone involved, because this show is clicking for me in such a fun way. Legitimately amazing episode, and I'm very excited to see how they're going to wrap it up all next week. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. Favorite gag, if you got any. I do think that jet gag was probably my favorite, but you let me know yours. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got the full live reactions available on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got OOK then, Kevin Wallace, Dragon0909, Antonio, NA, Tony Keats, Ivan Bondare, Noel Void, and we also have One-Eyed King 25. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Have a good one.